We've been doing breeding for about 20 years now here, and part of the whole cycle of breeding was to look for patterns, because that's what breeding's all about. And well, the latest sort of craze being feminized, you sort of lose touch a little bit with that, because people tend to look at, they take one plant, you only need one plant, and you spray it with what's called STS formula, and it's basically it's a mutagen, so it mutates the plant and creates a male flower on a female plant. Now then, what happens is you have what's called XX chromosomes, because if you're into biology or anything, you realize there's X and Y, and different combinations create different things. Now when you make feminized seeds, you're taking all female information, creating a male pollen that only contains female information, so when you lay that on top of each other, you get all females. Now T.H.SEEDS, we've got about 5 strains right now that we're doing, and what we're doing is we're only working with our main strains. We're not trying to do all of them. One reason why is because we're kind of on the idea that people need to grow normal seeds, especially if they really want to do any breeding, or if they have any chance of, if they want to make anything special from themselves. When you have all female, what you do is you give new growers and people that are just starting to get into it or a little bit inexperienced an ability to try without too much hassle. But my philosophy is that actually they should learn on their normal seeds, because then they learn everything. They learn about the males and the females, and they can make their own varieties. So what we did is we made our seeds cheaper, our feminized. Most other companies made them more expensive, like they're more special. But our kind of idea was to make the normal seeds more special, and the other ones for just inexperienced, you know, just throw it in the ground, who cares kind of idea. And you know, the benefit of it is, I guess, that it does make more people feel like they can do it. But on a learning curve, I think it's nice if you have a chance to see everything on both sides of the fence, because males are actually the hardest part of growing as far as locating the right one. So what happens is, you say you grow 10 seeds and you have 6 females and 4 males. Usually the males show their sex first. They'll come up quicker, they grow taller, thinner, lankier. But if sometimes you get a real special one and it looks like a female and you're tricked into it, you think, wow, this is the one, you know, it's really short, compact, it's got resin already developing, it smells really good. And what happens is everybody goes in and cuts them out and throws them away. Now that could have been a really, really good breeder. And a good example of this is Jamaica, for instance. In Jamaica, they go in and they cut down all the males early and to get sensey. But what they do is they're a little bit sloppy sometimes. And what they'll do is cut down all these beautiful, vigorous, healthy males, but the little puny ones stay behind. And those little puny ones still fertilize all the females. So sometimes you get seeded weed from Jamaica, for instance, and a lot of times it's very hard to find good seeds out of those seeds, because the males that are used in that process are not specific. They're just random, and they're usually the runts of the litter, let's say. And so that's a good example of how things can kind of spiral in a downward cycle. And what happened in Jamaica is a lot of people brought seeds there. There's a lot of Afghani influence, a lot of other plants coming into there that aren't necessarily for that equatorial sort of region, which is tall, beautiful sativa. You got 13 hours of sunlight and 11 hours of darkness every single day of the year almost. But when you grow a short little Afghan plant, you'll end up with not much yield, high potency, but again, not much yield. So what happens is they've kind of lost a lot of the breeds over the years, which is a shame, because for years that was, you know, the mecca. So we're kind of on the opposite end of most people's spectrum. Most people are focusing only on feminized, and we're trying to get people back onto the whole breeding program, because I think that's the future, you know, that's part of the whole future. If you and me can share genetics and create something new, I think that's more beneficial for everybody.